Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Caroline and today we're going to take a look into the past. So this video is actually kind of improvised. This wasn't the video I was planning on filming and releasing, but I came across a poem that I wrote when I was at my worst with depression back in 2020. And when I read the poem, I all of a sudden got a lot of emotions and memories from that time. And the poem really says a lot about, it really shows what depression is like and what goes through your head. And I thought I might want to share that with you. I say might because it's actually really personal. Not only does it say something about how deep depression really is and horrific it really is, but it also says a lot about me and my own personal experience and way of thinking. But I did decide that I wanted to share it with you because it does say a lot about what depression is like, and maybe, you know, if somebody's watching who don't understand depression but maybe know someone who is or something like that, you know, they can maybe get an understanding of depression. And if you already are depressed, if you are depressed, then maybe you can get a sense that somebody understands what you're going through. I also thought that if I want to be someone who creates awareness, I have to be able to share very personal stories. So yeah, here we go. I thought the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to start by reading the poem to you in full, and then I will break it down afterwards and explain a little bit about my thoughts in the poem, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start by reading the poem to you. Have you ever felt the darkness, the kind without light, a feeling of hopelessness? Nothing will ever be all right. Inside me, I feel the demon luring me into the dark. A promise of protection and all my dreams within, as long as I live in sin. It tells me to sell my soul to the devil, to join the evil. It tells me the world hates me, no reason to be good. That I will have all the power if I do what I not should. It grows stronger every day, taking over my feelings and what I say. No angel is saving me, so why should I not let the demon be? They tell me I'm not possessed, that I'm just crazy. If that's true, then why do I feel it inside? Why is a voice luring me every day, telling me to go to the dark side? Lord, please help me. I'm scared my heart will freeze, and my soul forever lost will be. So as you can hear, that was actually a little hard for me to read. Oh my God, it's so dark. So let's just break it down. So the first verse is really kind of an introduction to what depression really feels like. Have you ever felt the darkness, the kind without light? Because that's what depression is. We usually have this saying that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. But there is no light at the end of the tunnel when you're depressed. It's all darkness. And a feeling of hopelessness, nothing will ever be all right. You do feel hopeless because you never get to that light at the end of the tunnel. There is no light, and you know, you just feel like I'm gonna be this miserable for the rest of my life. You have no hope when you are depressed. So the next verse, inside me, I feel the demon luring me into the dark. And when I say demon, I'm using demon as a metaphor because I want to make very clear, I never thought that I was actually possessed by a demon. But when I explain what it feels like to have depression, I always say it feels like being possessed by a demon because you are losing complete control over yourself. So I'm using that as a metaphor. And so like I said, it does feel like you're possessed. So I feel this demon inside that's luring me into the dark. Like It wants you to be miserable, right? A promise of protection and all my dreams within, as long as I live in sin. And this can sound like a promise of protection. The demon is promise me protection. But the thing is, when you are, in general, when we are in situations where we don't really know what would be on the other side, sometimes bad situations becomes a safe place for us, even though it's not a safe place. And this is what I mean, a promise of protection. Like, I didn't know what life could be outside of this misery. So it became something familiar, something I knew, and therefore felt safe. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how I felt. And all my dreams within, as long as I live in sin. A promise of protection and all my dreams within, as long as I live in sin. And this comes from, I've always had a lot of dreams. And I've always been the kind of person who done everything the right way to achieve those dreams. So I've always done what everybody expected of me, you know, society, family, boyfriends, friends, whatever. Like, take an education, right? Work hard, do it this way, this way, this way. Be a good person, you know, be a good, honest person. And I've always tried to do the right thing. I've always tried to do what society, friends and family expected of me, and being good. And at this point where I was so depressed, I was thinking, so this is the reward for always doing things the right way, doing what is expected of me, and being kind and good to others. So this is where it got me. I'm 30 years old and I'm on sick leave, being completely miserable. So that's the reward I get. So at this, that's what I mean here. And I was thinking, maybe if I don't care about anything else but myself and use my shoulders to get ahead in life, maybe I will actually achieve my dreams, because the right way doesn't work. So maybe if I do everything the wrong way and don't care about anyone or anything else but myself, maybe I will achieve my dreams. I do not think that way today, by the way, but that was what I was thinking. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to be a little more cold-hearted, you know, and just not care as much as I do. The next verse. It tells me to sell my soul to the devil, to join the evil. This is back to what I said before, like, you know, come to the dark side. Be a bad person, if you may, and you can get everything you want, right? It tells me the world hates me, no reason to be good. And that is exactly how I felt. I felt like the whole world was against me. Because here I was doing everything the way the world want me to do things, and I got punished, right? So why be good? Why be good when I get punished for being good? And you see people who literally we see that every day, right? Especially since social media started and Me Too and all the things. We see people doing things, bad things, and still get rewarded, right? And so maybe that's what I have to do, right? That really was how I was thinking. I'm not proud of it, but that was how I was thinking. That I will have all the power if only I do what I not should. So again, if I become a cold-hearted person who doesn't care about anything else but myself, maybe I can actually have my dreams come true. It's really sad. It grows stronger every day, taking over my feelings and what I say. And this is depression at its finest, because you sink deeper and deeper into it. And at one point it takes over you completely. You don't have any other feelings than the depression, and it really controls how you act and what you do, what you say. Like, you know, you don't have any control. You can be lying on the couch thinking the sun is shining. Maybe I should take a walk. Maybe that would make me feel better. And then the depression is like, nope, you can try, but I'm not allowing you to actually stand up. Like, you are paralyzed. It's really not a nice feeling. And it's not really nice. No angel is saving me. So why should I not let the demon be? I felt alone. And at this point, I had also been gaslighted by the first psychologist I saw, who told me there was nothing wrong with me. I was just having a hard time adapting to the pandemic. So I felt left alone. I felt left behind. I felt like nobody cared. There were people who cared, but I just didn't feel that way. So why should I not let the demon be? So why should I try to get out of the misery? Why should I fight not becoming a cold person, a bad person, if you will, when nobody cares? Nobody's trying to help me. They tell me I'm not possessed, that I'm just crazy. And possessed here is a metaphor for this first psychologist who gaslighted me and told me there was nothing wrong with me. So there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm just having a hard time adapting to the pandemic. I'm just crazy. And at the same time, I think there is still this stigma that people with mental illness are crazy. And I think that's why I might use that word here. If that's true, then why do I feel it inside? Why is a voice luring me every day, telling me to go to the dark side? So if there's nothing, and this is again from the gaslighting of the psychologist, so if there's nothing wrong with me, then why am I feeling this way? Why am I getting closer and closer to the dark side? If I'm just having a hard time adapting to the pandemic, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. Lord, please help me. I'm scared my heart will freeze and my soul forever lost will be. And this last 3 lines actually made me smile a little bit because it says something about in my absolute darkest moment ever. I was scared to have a cold heart. I was scared to lose my soul and my ability to be a good human being. I actually was afraid of that, even though I was getting closer to the dark side, if you may, but I was actually still, there was this little part of me that was like, oh, I don't want to be an asshole, you know, like I don't want to be miserable, I don't want to be bad, I don't want to go to the dark side, you know, even though I was heading in that direction. And for me personally, I think what saved my life, other than of course my antidepressants, but what really saved my life in the end was that I had this tiny little voice inside of my heart, or whatever you want to call it, that said to me, you are not supposed to be miserable for the rest of your life. You're not supposed to be cold. You're not supposed to be a bad person. There is a purpose with what you're going through. You need to learn something, and you need to use that in the future for whatever, maybe creating awareness. And the reason you have been chosen, if you will, is because you're strong enough to fight it. So there was this little tiny voice inside of my heart that was like, you have to fight it, and you will fight it, and you can fight it, and you want to fight it. And so I think in the end, my faith in the universe has a meaning with everything, a purpose, something you need to learn, that you are developing as a human being, and that, you know, we need to learn lessons in life to improve ourselves and maybe also head in the right direction. Like this whole sense of there is a purpose, right? For every human being, small or big, there is a purpose. I think that faith was really what saved me. That made me keep fighting for my life. So even though it's a very dark poem, you can say it actually ends with a little bit of hope. Not a lot, but a little bit. And that made me a little happy. So that was my poem. And I think what we can take from this is, if you have depression and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe try to think about one thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be my life's purpose, kind of like me, but one thing that would make you fight to get out of the depression and to get help. One thing, it can be anything. Maybe you have a child, right, that you want to be a good parent to and stay alive for. Maybe you have a dog or a cat, or like me, a couple of budgies that needs you and loves you and depend on you. Maybe you want to fight for them. Maybe you have family and friends who you know cannot live without you. Maybe you were working on something that meant a lot to you, that you're now not working on because you're depressed, but it meant so much to you and you cannot imagine leaving this world without finishing that project. Maybe that. It doesn't really have to be anything big. It can, but find that one little thing that makes you want to keep going because it's worth fighting for. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really hope it made sense. And yeah, I'm a little nervous about sharing this, but yeah, I hope everybody is gonna show me the love. So yeah, that was today's video. I don't really know what else to say other than, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, like the video, share the video. You can also go follow me on Instagram. That's also called The Art of Being Ill. And I will see you next time right here on my channel, The Art of Being Ill.